Real quick before we get into the video, if you want to see the reaction live with me, follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be streaming the games there from now on. I'm going to stream the highlights live there. So join me on Twitch. And then later on, I'm going to cut them up and upload it to the YouTube channel. So again, if you want to watch me react to it live and react to it with me, follow me on Twitch. The quality on these two videos might be a little crazy, but it's going to be a lot better from here on out. So follow me on Twitch. I'll catch y'all over there. What's good, man? Welcome back to another reaction video. So today, Baker Mayfield exposed the Las Vegas Raiders on national TV. Before we get started, make sure you like, comment, share, hit the subscribe button. I want us to hit 20K by the end of the football season. But once the Super Bowl ends, I want a week after that to be at 20K. So when we go right to the basketball season, we already at 20K, man. So hit the subscribe button. Now look, Baker just played against the Raiders last night and beat them with a whole new team that he doesn't know any of the receivers. He been in the Rams, I don't know, a day at most. And that's a stretch. You were there for like 3 hours, just showed up, rolled in. Give me a number. I don't care what it is. I don't know any plays. We just gonna go out there. I'm just gonna beat them. And for some reason, the Raiders make everyone look good. Everybody's debut looks amazing with the Raiders. Jeff Saturday with the Colts. Came from ESPN, walked onto the field, beat the Raiders. Baker Mayfield, he got cut one day, got picked up 5 hours later, and played in 2 and beat the Raiders. So I don't know what's going on with the Raiders, man, but we're finna react to this video. So let's get to it.
The accuracy downfield with receivers he's never thrown with. This is impossible. They go 98 yards. There he is again. I'm not.
Stop it. Get some help.
That man was headbutting people with no helmet last night. That's how you know that man was feeling great.
I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but games like last night literally make me feel like the NFL is scripted sometimes, just based upon what we were seeing.
It's almost like it's rigged, right?
There was a point where I was a little skeptical about what was going on because you could not have written a better game for Thursday.
They came back in 3 minutes. That's embarrassing.
Severe implications.
Look at what Devontae Adams, man.
In particular, this completely alters the course of his career. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on.
Hey, gonna hit us with that break.
I'm going to be posting additional picks this week for my prize picks on my Instagram story if you guys are interested in that. And if you haven't signed up, a link to that's in the description down below. Now that we get all of that out of the way,
break. Y'all subscribe to his channel too. They maybe put out some fire videos. If you put out some heat, I ain't gonna lie, you put out some heat.
It's challenging being a sports fan in California. To look for some alternatives, and we did.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold up, how'd he get Prize Pick? Hold up, wait a minute. How'd he get...
Prize Picks is available in 30 states, DC, and Canada. And it's very simple. All you do,
how'd he get Prize Pick?
I gave you guys to get 1 square right for us to 3x our money. Easy.
Whoa, how did this man get Prize Picks? Well, I've been looking.
Sign up for Prize Picks with my link in the description down below or download.
Yo, how does this man get Prize? Hey, if you're watching this video, hold on, wait. That man just shocked me. If you're watching this video, I'm gonna try my best to get Prize Pick because everybody be using Prize Pick. I'm gonna try to help you out. Cause look, he gonna give you $100. I want to help y'all get 100, get that free money, man.
Of your initial deposit. Now, once you're done with that, open up Prize Picks either on your phone or on your desktop.
This man really got Prize Picks.
I feel like that we're gonna click able to make us larger.
How?
Receiving your.
Well, I mean, he's way bigger than mine.
Follow me on Instagram or Twitter.
But still,
get up to a $100
that's
deposit.
crazy.
Check 1212. What's going on, everybody? My apologies for not being able to bring this to you guys immediately. Following the game on Thursday Night Football, we've had a lot of content recently, and I took
Devontae Adams, man,
rest a little bit.
Man, doing stupid. It don't even matter.
Storyline that we've been following very, very closely on this channel this year. I mean, to a nauseating degree to some of my subscribers, and honestly, it's been one of the most fun stories that I've ever had the opportunity to cover. When you go all the way back to last year, when Baker Mayfield Mayfield began this very unusual journey, starting with Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad calling him out. OBJ would eventually get released as a result of Baker Mayfield not targeting him enough.
You know what's ironic about that whole thing? That man, this is the irony of all this. This man Odell was like, nah, I can't play with the man Baker. He don't like throwing it to me. That man will not throw me the ball. So what does he do? That man goes to the Rams. He gets cut and then goes to the Rams, wins the Super Bowl. Following year, this man, Odell. That man not on the team right now. But this man Baker ends up getting cut, going to the Rams.
You also have the fact that Baker Mayfield
and having some success
and was trying to be the hero for the Cleveland Browns playing through it last year, but unfortunately
they low-key did him dirty
quarterback while he was playing through that labrum. That led to the Cleveland Browns deciding that we decided to
rid of that man right away.
Overall pick, but we're gonna move on from him for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson originally rejected the Cleveland Browns, but the Browns were so hell-bent on getting an upgrade at the quarterback position that in addition to offering a 2022, 2023, and 2024 first-round pick, in addition to a third-round pick in 2022 and a fourth-round pick in 2024, they offered Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed $240 million contract.
That's a lot of money.
How much the Browns wanted to upgrade from Baker Mayfield. This insulted Baker Mayfield. I mean, the moment they started contacting each other, it insulted Baker Mayfield, and he posted a very hearty farewell to his Instagram page. A couple months later, Baker Mayfield made it known that he felt betrayed, and as a result, the Browns traded him to the Carolina Panthers for a conditional fourth-round pick. But we all know that would eventually turn into a fifth-round pick because Baker Mayfield would not succeed with the Carolina Panthers. He would play horrifically, but that was also a really bad situation for him. Considering how Matt Rule was on the hot seat from the very beginning, how he was fired a few weeks into the season, how an interim head coach took over for Matt Rule after Baker Mayfield had a few moments to finally sit down with the playbook, and then Baker Mayfield just turning out horrible game after horrible game, and then there being additional pressure on Baker where if he played horrifically, he'd get benched for Sam Darnold or PJ Walker. Eventually, the Panthers decided, hey, we're going to cut ties with Baker Mayfield because once he plays 70% of his snaps, we're going to have to go with a fourth-round pick for this guy instead of a fifth. We've seen enough. This guy's not our savior. Let's cut him. The LA Rams were third on the waiver wire when Baker Mayfield hit the waiver wire. Matthew Stafford was injured, and they didn't necessarily have much to play for at this point because the Detroit Lions held their first-round draft pick this year, and currently, well, as of last week, that was good enough to be the fourth overall pick in the NFL draft. So you might as well take a chance on Baker Mayfield and see what would happen if Baker was Matthew Stafford's backup. I mean, after all, Matthew Stafford is getting up there in age. There's been rumors about his injuries going all the way back to the offseason.
You know what? That's not I think someone did. Dog, I wish I could pull up this man's comment. But he did say something like that. He said he think Baker should be a backup and then slowly transition Baker into the starting lineup. That way you don't have to go in the draft and keep searching for the next quarterback you can bring in. You already have Baker and you slowly make that transition, man.
He didn't look like himself very much this year, and he's currently in his early 30s. Yes, he is technically 10 years younger than Tom Brady, but
Brady's
you really
an
don't
anomaly.
know how much football Matthew Stafford really has in him. Especially after
Tom Brady,
Super
you
Bowl,
can't compare
especially
people to
making
Tom
a ton of
Brady.
money,
Tom Brady's
and
not
although he
human.
did recently get signed to a contract extension, it's a good idea to have a high-end
Deal right
contingency
there.
plan. There's no doubt in my mind, Baker Mayfield needs the Rams. The Rams would like Baker Mayfield, but they don't necessarily need Baker Mayfield. But their union was something beautiful to watch. As I said this in my take a couple of days ago, when the Rams claimed Baker Mayfield that this could save his career. This is without a doubt the most respected and probably the most brilliant head coach he's ever been paired with. And I think that really showed on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, I ain't
we were to
gonna lie.
flip the script to the Las Vegas.
I ain't gonna lie. I do think I do think Sean McVay will work well with Baker. If Baker, this is a coach that would elevate Baker game.
Raiders, it's a completely different situation.
So,
the Raiders came
if Baker's
into this game
smart,
with a
that man should
5-7
just
record.
stay where
It
he
didn't look
at.
like they were going to win the AFC
And just
West,
learn.
but it looked like at the very least they could potentially make it into the playoffs. And they could still make it into the playoffs, but at this point, they can't lose any more games. And on top of that, the Raiders came into this game on a pretty nice streak. I mean, they won
winning,
4
bro.
of their last 5 games. Devontae Adams in those 5 games had
Going
650
stupid.
yards and
That
7
was
touchdowns.
stupid.
And to be honest, this game was supposed to be a layup for the Raiders. I mean, you're going
It was
up against the
supposed to
Rams
be.
team with no Allen Robinson, no Cooper Kupp, no Aaron Donald, no Matthew Stafford. This should be a piece of cake.
That's
As a matter
all
of
their
fact,
players.
Josh Jacobs kind of implied that this was going to be barbecue chicken for him.
That man got hurt.
Yeah, it wasn't really a question for me today. It was, especially I can't say that. Yeah. Barbecue chicken. Baked chicken.
Did you say baked chicken or baked chicken?
Barbecue chicken.
You said baked?
Baked chicken.
Yeah, he said baked chicken. That backfired so bad. I ain't gonna lie though. Like, I wouldn't even call myself a Baker fan, but I love when stuff
Clearly,
like this
coming
happens.
into this game, if you were a betting man, the Raiders
I love
were
when
going
stuff
to be
like that
a pretty
happens.
safe bet. And once again,
When
like
stuff
we've
backfire,
seen multiple
I
games
love it. I ain't gonna
before,
lie.
The Raiders got out to a double-digit lead versus the Los Angeles Rams in the very beginning. The Rams just looked completely lost out there, and rightfully so.
Okay,
Baker
they are.
Mayfield was literally a Ram for less than 48 hours before finally taking snaps
They
on
was there for a
national
day and became a
television for
quarterback.
the Los Angeles Rams. And then something happened in the fourth quarter. Baker Mayfield was able to drive the LA Rams down and cut the lead to 6. Now the Raiders would get the ball back, but the Rams would stop the Raiders once again, which would give Baker Mayfield a little bit under 2 minutes left
go 98.
potentially lead the Rams in a game-winning drive. The moment the Rams got the ball back with under 2 minutes left, with Baker Mayfield under center versus the Raiders, that's when I began to think, damn, this is scripted. As a matter of fact, I tweeted it out in the middle of the game. Baker Mayfield is actually leading a game-winning drive on national television against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are notorious for choking double-digit leads.
They out here trying to set records. Yeah,
While only
that's
being
crazy.
a Ram for under 48 hours. I
That's
mean, it was like
crazy.
poetry in motion.
He gotta go. I'm sorry. He gotta go. He gotta go. Someone said they need to just cut Derek Carr, cut ties with Derek Carr, get Tom Brady, pair him up with Devontae Adams.
It was like you were
I ain't gonna lie, that'd be
watching a
nasty.
great moment in
That would
NFL
be
history
nasty.
unfold, and I was convinced it was going to happen. We're talking about a team that lost to an ESPN analyst that
Told
told
ya.
out how bad their team was within 2 weeks prior to taking the Colts job, and now they're losing to Baker Mayfield, who
That man called the
LA
Colts
Rams for
called the
under 2
Raiders
days.
horrible.
Now Baker Mayfield would
First
have
game
a
of the season
phenomenal
playing the
game-winning
Raiders
drive
and
with
then
the
beat
Rams.
them.
That would
Man, y'all
feature
proved
an
him right.
unsportsmanlike penalty from defensive tackle Jerry Tillery and another major penalty as well, resulting in a game-winning touchdown from Baker
Yeah, boy,
Mayfield to
that
Van
was a beautiful
Jefferson
pass.
for
I
the
can't
LA
lie.
Rams to win the game.
That was
And
a
this is where it
beautiful
gets
pass.
even more embarrassing. I mean, Baker made sure that the whole world knew how little time he had to be a Ram. First,
And he
he
bet-
bet on himself and immediately
Nah,
booked
that
a
was-
flight
that
to LA the moment he hit
That's
waivers because he was
crazy.
convinced that he was going to become a Ram. And he even said it in this interview.
I took a gamble. I booked the flight before the waiver wire went through.
Okay.
And then, of course,
Oh yeah, nah, he tweaking.
The flight before the waiver wire went through.
Nah, he tweaking. I ain't gonna lie, that boy tweaking. That man don't even know if he going there. That man already booked the flight.
Okay.
And then, of course, Sean McVay would give
Ah,
Baker
this was
Mayfield the
clean.
game ball for a phenomenal game by Baker.
To be able to come in here 10 minutes ago and help lead us to a victory. See you guys on Monday. Baker Mayfield.
But I think what's even more phenomenal,
That's
if you compare the
crazy.
stats of Baker Mayfield with 2 days to prepare, in his debut for the Los Angeles Rams, he went 22 for 35, 230 passing
That's
yards, 1
crazy.
touchdown, a 91.4 rating. Without a doubt, his best game.
Don't even
of
know the
season
plays.
So far.
That man
And
don't
you
know
also
the plays
mentioned
and went
fact
crazy.
that his best receivers were Ben Skoranek and Tutu Atwell and Van Jefferson.
Nah, I ain't gonna
The
lie.
fact that his best
Hold up.
receivers were Ben Skoranek.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. This dude snagged someone terribly. He snagged someone so bad, I said, ooh. He low-key could have looked down at him and like started barking at him or stuff.
And
I don't
Tutu
know.
Atwell
Started talking
and Van
stuff to
Jefferson.
him.
Without a doubt, not the top wide receivers that the LA Rams went into the season with. And then
That
you have to
Aaron
understand
Donald's
how
a
really
monster.
remarkable this feat is. Things like this make me think that the NFL is scripted sometimes. It's not something I truly believe, but I'm just trying to say this is like a fairy tale. And then you compare it to Derek Carr, and it looks really bad. Derek Carr has been a Las Vegas Raider for the past 8 years. The Raiders have never given up on him. I don't think the Raiders should ever never give up on him. He had Devontae Adams, he had Mac Hollins. Yeah, he didn't have Darren Waller, he had Foster Moreau, but he also had Josh Jacobs, who literally called the Rams barbecue chicken before this game. And he went 11 for 20 for 137 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 36.9 rating.
Why they ain't let him pass?
I mean, at that point, I know there's a lot of Derek Carr stands, and to be honest, I don't think Derek Carr is so horrible that you need to move on from him, but this game is definitely on him. I mean, you still had Devontae Adams, you still had all your top receivers. Josh Jacobs had a decent game. I mean, he almost had 100 yards rushing, but it was 3.3 yards per carry. And for the most part, I think the Raiders are trending upward. They're figuring it out a little bit more. They're streaking a little bit more. But man, this is embarrassing. This is the 4th game this season where they were up double digits and then they would end up losing. I mean,
they would have been 9-4.
They would be neck and neck with the Kansas City Chiefs for the top of the AFC West.
Crazy.
They'd at the very minimum be a playoff team this season, and that's not what's going to happen. Baker Mayfield arrived at SoFi Stadium and exposed the Las Vegas Raiders on national television.
See, that man snagged somebody.
We're also at the point of the Baker Mayfield cycle, proving everyone wrong because he is an underdog right now. But jokes aside, I think Baker Mayfield found a great place for himself. He understands at this point that he needs to accept his role as a backup and just be a good teammate. Otherwise, he might not see a spot in this league at all whatsoever for the future.
That means you embrace that backup role. Because you know what? You embrace that backup role, you're going to get another starting job somewhere else. See, I understand people like want to start right away and stuff. If you just be patient, you're going to find yourself in a like right now, Baker might actually be in a perfect situation. If he just stays patient, because I think either Matthew Stafford going to get hurt. He's getting older, so he'll just age on out of there, or say he played bad. One of the 3 things is very it's very possible, especially because I think he hurt his elbow. So if he starts declining and the injuries and all that, Baker's gonna get a whole bunch of opportunities under a good coach, Sean McVay, playing with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Like the team's still solid.
Then at the very minimum,
they're just having a rough year. You going Cooper Kupp
and maybe even settle into the Jameis Winston role. Now, obviously, the Jameis Winston role didn't work for Jameis.
Baker might be better than Jameis. I think Jameis is one of the worst I've ever seen. He's so reckless. He's like he got receiver to bail him out.
Division that needed to learn how to mitigate his turnovers, and ultimately,
don't ask me about
Jameis.
You're gonna be disappointed.
It did when he was with Sean Payton for his lone season, and the handful of games he was with Sean Payton, he actually performed fairly well last year. Unfortunately for him, Sean Payton would move on and Dennis Allen would take over, and clearly the offense doesn't look like what it used to. But who knows? Maybe this works out for Baker. Maybe Matthew Stafford has a couple more injured games.
That's what I'm saying. Stay still.
But Baker's definitely a good contingency plan to have in the event that goes down. Maybe eventually Baker Mayfield has another opportunity to show that if you put him in a good scheme with a smart head coach, he could win games for you. Without a doubt, this is way better than where he was about 3 weeks ago. It's an upward trend for him. But as for the Las Vegas Raiders, they don't have any room for error anymore. They have to win out the rest of their games if they want to be a playoff team. Honestly, it could be way worse. You could be the Denver.
Yeah, Denver ain't got no hope at all. None. Zero.
Broncos, and thankfully they're not. But I'm sure Raiders fans expected a little bit more from this team when they brought in Josh McDaniels and Devontae Adams in the offense.
They got to get rid of that coach. I'm telling you. Get a different coach. You're going to be just fine.
I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Hey man, that's it for the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel, man. He be putting out some bangers. So that's it for the video. I think Baker might have ruined the Raiders organization. Like, I think he might have blown that up. I ain't gonna lie. He really might have ruined their whole organization. But that's it for the video. Make sure you like, comment, share, hit the subscribe button. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Till then, I'm out. Peace.